We'll start. Okay. Hi everyone, this is Team Purple, and we will be presenting a phone startup cycle today. And just a small introduction about Apple. So, like we all know, Apple is one of the world's most valuable companies with a market capitalization at over 2.7 trillion as of 2025. And we all know that Apple is known for its innovation, its sleek design, and its strategic marketing precision. So every launch campaign and service is backed by very clear data-driven objectives. And iPhone in particular contributes nearly half of Apple's total revenue. And yes, so the first slide I'll be talking about Apple's smart marketing objectives. And yes, so here I've outlined the objectives in a way where we describe each stage, the four stages. The first one would be the introduction stage. The focus here is on awareness and adoption. For instance, when Apple launches a new iPhone, the goal here is to achieve around 10% global awareness within the first 6 months, and that's when the max sales happen. So, through unified global messaging and influence driven campaigns, this builds excitement among people and also early adopters, and this strengthens the brand positioning. The second one would be the growth stage. Here, the strategy shifts to market expansion. Apple typically aims to increase its market share by 15% and year-over-year sales by over 25%, supported by smart pricing strategies like the iPhone SE model and through career partnerships with T-Mobile, Verizon, and other brands that can make the product more accessible to the market, especially in emerging markets. So this helps in market penetration, and the third would be in a quality stage where retention and profit comes into picture and product expansion is key. So here the objective is to maintain over 90% customer retention while boosting revenue services by at least 20%. So that way it leverages loyalty programs and bundle services such as Apple One through refurbished models and other options. And then we have the final one, which is decline stage. Here, Apple focuses on life cycle extension by promoting trade-ins to refurbished models, recycling programs, and this typically generates about 15% of iPhone's total revenue from secondary sales. So this not only sustains profitability, but it also aligns with Apple's long-term sustainability goals. So overall, to conclude, these smart objectives ensure that every stage of iPhone's life cycle has very clear, measurable, and data-driven targets that eventually tie back to growth, retention, and brand prestige. The next slide will be presented by Emma, I guess. Yeah.
So moving to the marketing strategy based on the 7 Ps of marketing or the marketing mix, in the introduction stage, Apple launches a feature-rich premium smartphone with selective distribution and pricing that reflects its R&D investment. Awareness is built through public relations, advertising, launch events, staff training, and premium packaging that aligns with Apple's design standards. In the growth stage, Apple expands market share by introducing new variants, offering trade-ins and leveraging global online stores, social media, and influencer marketing. Customer experience is enhanced through exceptional service, streamlined delivery, and consistent Apple Store experiences worldwide. In the maturity stage, Apple extends the product's life and protects market share through upgrades, competitive pricing, geographic reach, and loyalty-focused strategies. Relationships are strengthened, purchases simplified, and Apple store design and eco-friendly packaging are preserved. In the decline stage, Apple phases out older models, applies selective price reductions, and focuses on high-performing markets while scaling back promotions. Attention shifts to new models, fulfillment is streamlined, and brand image and quality are maintained to maximize profitability. Next slide.
Okay, it's my turn to introduce you guys about the competitive levels for each stage. First, during introduction, during the late 2000s, actually Apple redefined the market of smartphone because they are the first one to have the new full touch screen, other than other competitors. Basically, they have very few competitors like Nokia, which is actually now during their decline phase of life cycle. And right now, and the second phase is a growth phase, which is about around 2010, 2015. Basically, more competitors are entering the market, and the level of competition actually raises rapidly. And then Apple actually addressed this competition level by building their ecosystem to maintain their customer loyalty and other like online services like Apple Store and other stuff. And then during the maturity, which is like from 2016 until now, the competition is actually very high, especially in the US markets. Okay. And the key competitors like Samsung and Google and other competitors. Basically, Apple actually addressing this competition by diversification, like expanding their services online, like music, iCloud, other online services, and also uh, they are making sure they're emphasizing the ecosystem again to maintain the customer loyalty. And the last phase is decline. Basically, it's in the future when the competition is very high and the key competitor is going to be newer generations of like foldables, wearables, or artificial reality, etc. Basically, Apple need to invest, uh, basically innovate with AI or artificial intelligence, basically to expand their other product lines to maintain their competitive position. And next person is gonna present.
When we talk about the Apple's product life cycle, culture and location makes up different a big difference at every stage. In the introduction stage, adoption is fast in the high-tech living places like the US or Japan, where people line up for the new release. But the developing countries, Apple has not has to work harder, offering financing programs or education programs and the local partnerships to build trust and awareness. During the growth stage, culture shapes how trends spread. In collective visit market like China, people rely more on what friends or the influencers recommend. So Apple use local partnerships and social campaigns instead of just the global advertisements. And at the maturity stage, Apple's approach depends on the market. In the US or Europe, where sales have leveled off, they push ecosystem products like Apple Watch or services. But in places like India or Southeast Asia, growth still comes from accessibility, like trade-ins, local productions, and pricing options. Even in the decline stage, older iPhone models find new lives in the developing country and the market as affordable value phones. So overall, Apple shows that the product circle isn't just one size fits all. Culture and economics change, changing the time, change the timing, and Apple's flexibility keeps the strong across every different markets. And then we go to the conclusion part.
Okay, so I'm going to finish with the summary. So when we talk about a smart analysis, the first stage we are thinking is create awareness. And then when we go to the next stage, it will be expanding from the emerging market, especially in the developing countries. And then the next stage will be going to focus on retain loyal customers and extend the product life cycle. So when we are conducting the marketing strategy, The first stage is still create awareness. However, the next stage will be focused on increasing the market shares in the global markets. And we are the iPhones specifically will need to differentiate from the other products. And then in the decline stage, there will be replacing some of the old models, like what iPhones and what iPad does. And when we focus on the competitive strategies, the competitive strategy we use iPhone to compare to other competitors. So iPhone is specifically well known for its innovation on the smartphone. And in the next stage, iPhone will need to focus on expand globally and the diversifications by putting focus besides iPhone, iPad, and for example, iPod and Apple Watch to expand their product lines. And in the last stage, they will need to focus on how to get AI introduced on its software so it could differentiate from the other competitors. When we talk about cultural context, um, iPhone wants to build awareness based on localizations, especially when they consider the cultural context in different countries. Developed country and developing countries, they have different needs on the products. So therefore, the marketing strategy will be a little bit different when they advertise the product on the social medias. And some of the customers, especially, they are focused on the innovations, and all the other developing country customers, they are focused more on the accessibility, especially on how they can accessible and use the iPhone in their daily life. And in the last decline stage, iPhone want to rebrand on the marketing strategy, especially focus on their target customers in different countries. So that concludes our presentation for the days. And then the next slides will conclude all our references. Thank you for watching.